What is up, y'all? Welcome back to episode 43 of That's No Moon Pod. We're back with the UAP, UFO, alien, non human intelligence, whatever you want to call it. But it seems like in the past week and a half, there's been crazy story after crazy story. And not only are people just saying things more and more now after the whole Senate hearing, David Grush, everything that's gone on this past year, there's actual photos, videos, not just eyewitness testimony, but more and more footage of actual things that are going on our planet. Um, I don't know if y'all seen or heard of the airliner that disappeared or got teleported into another dimension, but um, there's this airliner that potentially, with the help of these three orb UAPs, got this MH370 airliner and three spheres, orbs, whatever you want to call it, and this is all caught on video, start circling around the airliner as it's flying in the sky. And this video was supposedly captured on thermal from a drone, um, some kind of spy satellite drone. And this video was on Reddit. And if you find the video, if you look it up, you're just looking at this airliner flying in the sky with these three spheres just circling around in perfect formation around, just constant going around this airliner while it's flying through the sky. You can see the jet fumes, the fume just coming out of the airliner, the clouds, and there's different versions of the video to where it's like fully thermal, and people have edited it to where you could just see different contrasts of the video. But like I said, airliners flying in the sky with these freaking spheres just circling around and round around the airliner, and it comes to a point to where while all this is going on, a literal, I don't even know what to describe it, but just a portal, a literal portal in the sky opens up as the airliner and the spheres circling around all just go into this portal that opens up out of nowhere in the sky and then just blips away and gone. Airliner, the spheres, and this is all again caught on video by this drone spy satellite. And if you haven't heard of the story or seen the video footage yet, please just look up MH370 airliner, UFO, UAP, portal, whatever. Just and tell me what you think on this, because it literally looks like most things nowadays, or always, too good to be true, right? But it's not anymore. This is literally almost just becoming a weekly, daily thing almost, to the point where not only are we just getting more and more whistleblowers coming out and more just eyewitnesses, and every day there's new footage of UFOs flying around on our Earth. And not even on our Earth, I'll get into one later, to where I saw a video on Instagram to where it looks like was taking above our atmosphere either on some sort of space station or shuttle that's in orbit above our atmosphere, and there's a camera that is facing our Earth. Our Earth. There's a camera on this satellite or space station, whatever, floating above our atmosphere, but a camera pointed towards Earth, and across the screen from the far right, you see clear as day, up close, two uh, like just classic disc shaped UFOs just fly right across the. They literally just right in front of the camera, two of them, and the first one, as you could see, as like they both come in to into frame. The first one, right whenever it enters the view of the camera, it distorts and the camera footage kind of gets shaky, distorted. But when the second one behind it comes in, it's facing as it's flying by, belly up towards the camera. So you can see the second UFO, still disc shaped silver, as it comes in the camera after the first one disappears. But the second one, belly up, doesn't distort and it doesn't shake up the camera or nothing. And the guy on the video is pointing out, he even says it, he's like, that's an alien, that's a spacecraft, that's a literal spaceship that just got capped on camera. And you could see it, just the under of it, just it's silver. You could tell it looks metallic. Um, but two of them literally fly by across. I don't know the details on that video specifically or who the guy was talking over the video, but it sounded like he was showing it to some sort of, I don't know, some kind of meeting or something, or he's showcasing it to some audience because it sounds like there's people in the audience watching this guy. But the footage looks a little dated, like maybe early 2000s, possibly, or I don't know. It didn't look too recent, but I literally saw that video a week and a half, and then literally a couple days later, if that, this video of the airliner flying through a freaking portal pops up on my Twitter feed or my X feed. Uh, and so right away, I'm like, well, we got stuff to talk about in next week's episode, which here we are. Again, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Anyone who's a weekly listener of That's No Moon Pod, you mean the world to me, and hopefully y'all stick around for the ride. But like I said, this ain't it, y'all. This ain't from the last episode, last week's, where we go over the Adam Devine versus the MCU debacle. Um, the week before that, we had another UAP alien pod, and just in between, we got all this new information, news, footage, and as you can see from the thumbnail of this video, this was kind of one of the things that I literally just stumbled upon today on Twitter or X, um, right before recording this. And again, I don't know the full details of this, but this is just something that I came across. And the thumbnail of this video, I took this photo from my Twitter and put it in an app to enhance it. So what you're seeing on the thumbnail is a humongous pyramid shaped UAP hovering above a desert somewhere in South America. I don't know exactly where in South America this was taken, but there's two other photos um, that came with this enhanced one that I have on the thumbnail, and the two other photos, one of them you could see it kind of it looks like it's literally flying. It's up in the sky, higher up. It's not as clear, but you can still see the outline, the shape of it. Just this black pyramid. This thing looks. I couldn't tell just by eyeballing it, but um, it looks like a big UFO. And the second one, more or less, is kind of the same thing. It's just kind of hovering up above the ground, uh, except it's not pointed vertically. It's just hovering horizontally. And if you know or have heard from all, well, not all, but I'd say a lot of eyewitnesses say that these crafts, whenever they take off, they don't necessarily like just lift up off the ground, belly down. They kind of point themselves vertically and kind of just shoot off like that. And I've heard multiple stories of crafts bigger than this one. I've heard one from the 70s of an old man in New Mexico who said that he was hunting and he stumbled upon like two or three 2-story house sized UFOs. And he was looking at them and he said that when these huge UFOs would take off, that they would first kind of point vertically and then that's when they would shoot off up in the sky. But this guy from the 70s described the UFOs as being bigger than his 2-story house at the time and still being able to lift off and do all that silently. He said not even affecting the trees around it, like it not even there. And if a blink of an eye, it's gone. Uh, but again, the original photos, like the one in the thumbnail, literally what you're seeing on the thumbnail is the photo. All I did was take it and put it in an app to enhance it. That's literally it. But I have it on my Instagram. If you want to look at the pictures fully, you can follow me at Admire My Moonsalt on Instagram. And I have all three of the photos, not just the thumbnail, but all three of these um, South America pyramid UFO, all on my Instagram, and they're all enhanced. So if you want to take a better look at them, um, go over on my Instagram because just seeing them and when you zoom in on the freaking, it just looks crazy. Like you could just see where they would be looking through, or you could just kind of see maybe like how it would look in person. You know, if you're actually there up close to it, you could just kind of see a little bit more of the finer details. And um, this one was almost as freaky as the past one that I had for episode 37 of the pod, where this one's just not as big. But on episode 37, uh, that thumbnail on that video, that one looks way more bigger than this one that I'm showing you now. But um, still, same thing. They look like built from the same kind of, some kind of, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, y'all. Just the more and more stuff that comes out on the internet is just, you just can't help but to get excited. And there's another story that I'm not going to get into because I don't know the full details of it yet. I haven't fully looked into it. But I'm sure you probably heard of the Peru incident that's going around right now. Supposedly there's like this 7 foot tall alien that was supposedly attacking this village in Peru or something. And but the story is crazy, and I just haven't done my full research on it. So maybe next week that'll probably be a main talking point. Um, I just want to look more into it before, you know, I take time and put it into a video, and I just want to understand the story because from what I've heard, it sounds crazy, but again, crazy just isn't crazy no more. Um, But again, just more and more stuff seems to come out every day, every week. Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, they released their Weaponized podcast, and they were kind of just giving it to the haters, all the criticism that David Grush gets, the whistleblower that came out, and just people just continuing to still try to push the tinfoil hat agenda on everyone and putting X Files music with every interview they do with someone, talking about the topic on the news and not even talking about it on the news, um, because it's just such a normal thing now. People don't care. And when I say people don't care, I mean that, look, even if everyone was fully bought into all this, everything that we've been talking about, uh, and everything that David Grush and Bob Lazar and all these credible whistleblowers, David Grush, um, or I'm sorry, David Fravor, Commander Fravor, um, all these people, if everything that they've been saying is 100% accurate, at the end of the day, you and I and everyone else is still going to have to get up and go to work tomorrow or go to school tomorrow, provide for themselves and for their families. People aren't going to just stop living their lives because aliens exist. So that's why we're kind of getting just more and more of these crazy eyewitness testimonies, footage, because this is the new norm, y'all. Um, I'll kind of end it with this. Tom DeLong was kind of going off a little bit on Twitter earlier today and kind of doing some Q&As and stuff, or just kind of doing. Um, he was on Twitter and he was checking his replies for sure. But I'll read you a tweet that he had because he hasn't been he's been kind of quiet, or very quiet, I should say, since all this has gone down. I know he was on tour with Blink 182, so he's probably just burnt out from a long tour and whatnot, and wants to, you know, collect his marbles and see how he wants to attack all this. Again, I'm hoping he's got to hop back on JRE. He's got to go back on round two. But I'll read you his tweet and then I'll kind of end the video after this. But this is what Tom DeLonge said today on Twitter. He said, like most, when you go down the rabbit hole, I too was ignorant. People in government working the real UFO problem are patriots, morally sound, and doing the best they can. Some made errors, worked in an ambiguous lack of oversight. But what would we each do if we were burdened with this? So it's kind of like just him saying that there's good people that are probably within the nose of all this above top secret stuff, and they legit are just doing their jobs. Not everyone is evil who necessarily hides or, withholds information from the public, because a lot of people give crap to David Grush, the whistleblower, um, because why doesn't he just say, or how come he doesn't say this, or he's being real secretive of this, blah blah blah. It's because the man would go to jail if he just comes out and says everything. This dude still has things that he cannot say, not just because his life possibly depends on it, but literally he's already put his career on the line. But the man doesn't want to freaking go to jail for saying something that he's not obligated to say. And that's just the way it is. It's not him being secretive and not wanting to tell the full truth. If he could, I'm sure he would. And that's kind of what Tom DeLonge, I guess, is going on with. Because some guy replied back to Tom in that tweet and said, truth should not be a burden. It should be shared because it belongs to all of us. Which I see his point of view on that. And Tom replied to this guy saying, I agree, but like any other emergency, leadership needs to figure out what the hell is going on before they run out and say something that is wrong or that they don't have a plan to deal with it. He said that's my take, but I do agree, and others agree now is that time. So again, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Things are staying hot in the UFO UAP topic, and it's just gonna keep going and keep going. And who knows where we're gonna be a year from now, or at the end of this year. Who knows what's to come? But hopefully, y'all stick around. I know I am. I'm excited. You're gonna follow me on Instagram if you want to see the thumbnail photo, the full enhanced, and the two other photos that were also attached with it. All three photos enhanced on my IG at Admire My Moonsalt. All my socials will be in the description. Still posting a comic book on Snapchat every day. Snapchat at Admire My Moon Pie. And I've been gaming a lot more on Twitch. Just follow me, y'all. Everything will be in the description again. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. We'll be back next week. But until then, y'all stay safe. And I'll catch y'all on the flip. Peace.